Hey guys, Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who. Last time around, we had Turn Left. What was that one about?
Well, it was a kind of a template from It's a Wonderful Life, how one decision can literally change your entire life. Donna and the Doctor were on some kind of planet, and she went to a fortune teller who kept prompting her to go back and say, you know, where did this all happen to you? And it got down to she was going to a job interview, which she was supposed to turn left on, and her mother kept griping at her, so she finally turned right. But by turning right, she never met the Doctor, and by not meeting the Doctor, all the things that happened between her meeting the Doctor and now had all gone a completely different way with the Sontarans and the whole works. But somehow or other, Rose, or some kind of iteration of Rose, because Rose is supposed to be in an alternate universe, kept trying to warn her, kept popping up and saying, you need to figure out how to go back and find the Doctor, etc., etc. And at the end, she reunited with the Doctor because she went back and turned left. But then they noticed that the stars were disappearing, and I think Rose or somebody said the darkness is coming. So that's where it ended, if I recall.
Yeah. What could it be? What could cause the end of the universe? What could, be this great darkness? Do you have any theories as we go into the two-part finale?
Well, the last time somebody tried to end the universe, wasn't it? That's how the fourth Doctor died, when the Master did something with Logopolis.
Yeah, there was something about math. There were the mathematicians in Logopolis, and maybe he was gonna rewrite reality with the math people. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember. That was a good episode. I just don't remember it. So, I always find it funny which episodes I remember and which I don't. Because I'll be like, no, I remember exactly what it was in this episode. And then you'll say another episode, I'm like, I barely remember we even watched that. So,
well, on my Facebook memories this morning, the Crotons popped up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, those were the really, really big machines those really awful machine-looking things that they made.
And we assumed back then that they were some kind of substitute for the Daleks because they couldn't get the Daleks back because of Terry Nation or something. But yeah, they were not as functional nor as scary.
Yeah, so it was. Oh, and it was. I think it was a thing of they had clearly they made the top part of the Crotons, and then they just kind of ran out of budget, and because I think they had a skirt or something around the bottom half because they didn't have enough material to make a full thing. I don't know. That was a long time ago, so yeah. I don't know. It's open for debate what I remember and what I don't. I mean, just watching through Torchwood, I clearly don't remember half of that. So, which we should once again reiterate: we have not finished season 2 of Torchwood. We have not even watched an episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures. But we're going to be soldiering on to this two-part finale anyway, and we'll just get there when we get there. Honestly, thinking back on it, it doesn't really those stories don't impact this story. It's just that this is kind of the reward for watching those shows, is a big, spoiler alert, a big crossover. So,
okay.
This was Endgame before Endgame. So, but yeah, you got anything else?
No. But that title, The Stolen Earth, I want to say first or second Doctor. Didn't somebody try to steal the Earth, move it out of its orbit, take it away? I want to say it was the Cybermen or the Daleks or somebody.
I think it was the Daleks, because that was the Dalek invasion of Earth. That was their second story, where in the future they were converting the Earth into a spaceship.
Yeah.
And that was going to be their new war world or something like that. Yeah. Okay. I barely remember that, but yeah, I think that I think that was the plot of the Dalek invasion of Earth.
Okay.
So
where we lost Susan,
yeah,
thankfully.
sorry.
So we never liked Susan.
Yes. I mean, we wanted better of Susan, but they clearly weren't giving that to her, and that's why she left.
Now, in some of the early ones, I remember specifically because I really love Marco Polo. She had a great part in Marco Polo. She was actually part of the integral part of the plot there. But after that, in the next 2 seasons, she just kept getting more and more of the hysterical, screaming damsel in distress.
She had a connection to a young girl that was a part of that group, that caravan group. So, Although from what I gather, I think we hold Marco Polo way higher than most Doctor Who fans, which is saying something because it's entirely a reconstruction. Yeah. So,
but remember, I saw the original.
Yeah.
So that would have been late 63 or early 64. Yeah. Since that was like the second or third of those, and since they started in November, and there was a 4-parter that would have gone into December. And then, so yeah, it would have been either late 63 or early 64. And again, being the history lover that I am, I love Marco Polo because it was a great idea to put. That was the first real Earth time travel. They'd gone back to the cavemen, and that cavemen is a completely made up story. But Marco Polo, that was the first time they put the Doctor and his companions into a milieu, as you were, a world that we actually knew about.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it is funny that it's like, you probably are one of the few people, you and the people that recorded the audio back then. You could have been one of those kids. Yeah. You could have been one of those kids who put a microphone up to your TV, recorded the audio of every episode, and then years later, they would have taken still images and made the reconstructions out of them.
Now, if I recall correctly, I didn't have a tape recorder, and that was, even then it was a reel-to-reel until about 66 when we came back to the United States. When we were in England, I don't remember having a tape recorder at all. So, honestly,
I feel like it's a miracle that someone was always there to record the audio of those episodes. Yeah. So, like, there's not a single, there's not a single episode where it's just like, nobody was even recording the audio for that, so we just have nothing. It's like, no, there was always someone there.
Now, it makes me wonder, did this all start with Doctor Who, or were there some other British serials, even non-science fiction ones, that they were recording at that time as well?
Maybe. I don't know. Because, I mean, it's such a strange thing, but it's like, because there was no home media back then. So it's just like, so clearly that had to start somewhere, I feel like. Yeah. Granted, I guess they had plenty of time, because Marco Polo was the first one that was lost. Like, they still had the Unearthly Child, they had the Daleks, they had the Edge of Destruction, which was just a 2-parter. But going week to week, I guess that would have been enough time. So 4 weeks, 7 weeks, 2 weeks, all that amount of time for some kid in England to be like, I really like this show. I want to be sure I can, enjoy this story again. So when Marco Polo came around, there was someone by that time. There probably even sooner before that. There might actually be audio recordings of those previous serials. It's just we don't need them because we still have those episodes. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a very curious thing. But yeah, you don't hear about it for any other show. Yeah. Granted, how many other shows from the 60s are still going today? Yeah. It's this and Star Trek and like nothing else. So
there's the British soap operas. We talked about that.
Well, yeah.
Coronation Street. I don't know when EastEnders started. I don't remember it. If it was on between 63 and 66, my folks never watched it. My folks did watch Coronation Street, which I thought was odd because I don't remember them being fans of the soap operas when we were in the States. So, who knows?
Well, yeah. So, anywho. Did I ever get you the Marco Polo book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got to keep track of those because for his birthday and Christmas, which are relatively close to each other anyway, I give him Doctor Who, the old Target novelizations. So
I'm currently reading, what is it, the Mandragora?
The Mask of the Mandragora.
Mask of the Mandragora. And then after that one, I've got the Talons of Weng Chiang.
Yeah, I'm doing all the historicals. Eventually I'll run out of those, and probably then I guess I'll start dipping into all the other stories. So I haven't read any of them yet, but I should. At some point I will.
The only one that I didn't enjoy, don't want to say I hated it, but it was the way it was written. Whoever did the novelization of the Romans, which I enjoyed the Roman story, again, meeting Nero and finding out that he was a horn dog, is that it's written as, what do they call it, an epistolary? There's letters. The entire thing is done as a series of letters. And, like, Ian writes letters, like, when he's a galley slave, and I went, no, you wouldn't have any time to write if you're a galley slave. And then there's the guy who was supposed to be the assassin who keeps bumbling the assassination attempts. He's writing letters to his mother, and Nero's wife or concubine, whatever she was, and she was always jealous of Barbara, I guess. It wasn't to me the way to do that serial. So, anyway. But the rest of them were very good.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to. The first novelization I might read is there was a novelization of the 50th anniversary, The Day of the Doctor, and Stephen Moffat wrote that out. And I know that Russell T Davies at the same time he wrote a novelization of Rose, the original episode with Eccleston and Rose, and so I might try those out too. And I did hear though in interviews, like, it's a bit hard for them when it's like, what stories they want you to do, because it's like, you can sell the 50th anniversary, you can sell Christopher Eccleston's first episode, you can't sell some of those in between episodes. So they were like, we say, oh, let's do a novelization of Gridlock, and they're like, no, nobody cares, nobody's gonna read that. So
because Gridlock is really a visual. I mean, there's not a huge amount of story to that, but it's a great visual story.
Yeah, but from what I hear, both of those books also add a lot more. And there's, like, especially in The Day of the Doctor, there's, like, a lot of stuff that was cut from the original script that Moffat, like, worked back into the story. So, anywho. Well, hey, we're rambling, but it was all about Doctor Who this time, so it's very rare when we technically stay on topic. But we should get moving to The Stolen Earth.
Let's go.
Excuse me? What day is it?
Saturday.
Saturday. Good. Good, I like Saturdays.
So,
It is Saturday.
I just met Rose Tyler.
Yes. 1963 into early 64, we had milk delivered to our house.
Apparently they still did in 2008.
Oh no, it's Pompeii. Oh. Okay.
Some sort of earthquake.
It was a rough trip.
Look at the sky.
Why, what is it?
Just look at the sky.
Torchwood.
The wrist. What? Yato! You okay?
No broken bones. Slight loss of dignity. No change there, though.
No, he was a very bad.
Sarah Jane.
Are you all right?
Oh, so many books fell down.
Mr. Smith, I need you.
See, this will be a good preview for the Sarah Jane adventures.
Fanfare. You just tell me what happened.
Sarah Jane, I think you should look outside. I think you'll find the visual evidence most conclusive.
It's gone dark. It's them aliens, I'll bet my pension.
Well, back to Chiswick.
Stop, you green swine!
Oh, she's got a gun too.
Run.
Right, now we're in trouble.
Run where?
It's only just beginning.
Might be a slight bit of a problem. We gotta get through these credits as fast as we can.
So Wilf still didn't get before title?
No, not yet. There's too many people. Main characters of shows only.
But
There's
if the
still more
Earth's
people we have to
renewed,
go through.
they've lost the sun. What about my mum? And Granddad? They're dead.
It's just a little cold.
I'm gonna come home as soon as I can. I promise. I love you, you big idiot.
It's not her fault this time.
An artificial
That's not a planet.
The reading
That's a
seems to be
space station.
artificial in construction.
Some sort of space station sitting at the heart of the web.
They're fine. Marina and Dad, they're still in Cornwall. What on Stain does.
We've seen him before, and he's not.
Sarah
I've not
Jane,
seen this, but
I have detected movement.
we've seen him in a movie.
Observe.
I don't know.
Spaceships.
He looks very familiar.
Tracking
Maybe.
200 objects.
I do love immediate rioting. Like, nothing's even happened yet.
Oh, it's the end of the world.
Eh.
It's the end of the world. Where do you think you're going?
You two! You can put that stuff down or run for your lives.
It's the end of the world. Why do you need a new computer?
They have a message for the human race.
Put it through. Let's hear it.
Of course. I mean, who else could it have been? Yes, very good. The Daleks have tried this before.
No.
The Daleks are here. They have an orchestra. It's terrifying. We haven't seen them in a while.
Judoon.
Scopo, tro, no, fro, jo, ko, fo, to, do.
No, bo, ho, so, ko, ro, to, so. Porque to zuko ba fopo jo.
Well said.
Maho.
Time Lords are the stuff of legend.
Clom's gone. Who want Clom?
All different sizes.
27 planets in perfect balance. Come on, that is gorgeous.
Oi, don't get all spaceman. What does it mean?
All those worlds fit together like pieces of an engine.
Who could design such a thing?
Someone tried to move the Earth once before. Long time ago.
Very long time ago.
Can't be.
I forgot that was even referenced.
Supreme Dalek, is there news? Earth has been subjugated. I mean, is there news of him?
Oh,
Negative. No reports of Time Lord.
don't tell
We
me.
are beyond the Doctor's reach. He is coming. A clean old man. He dances in the lonely places. Oh, creator of us all. The Doctor is coming.
Okay.
You didn't think it was
Crazy
just
Dalek.
going to be the Daleks, right?
Take the water, it purifies.
Thanks.
There was something on your back.
Well, not again.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
My whole planet's gone.
I mean, the loss that is yet to come.
Oops.
I'll save you.
This place sucks.
Donna, come on.
There were the bees disappearing.
The bees disappearing.
We've said that all
The
season.
bees disappearing. We're going back home.
I can where?
Planet Melissa Majoria.
You saying bees are aliens?
That mission daft. Not all of them, but if the market bees felt something coming, something.
Planets were stolen with hostile intent. We are declaring war, Doctor, right across the universe, and you will lead us into battle.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds great.
Of course we will. Just go and get you the key.
Bye.
You're welcome with me.
Where are you?
Good job. Oh.
Is not impaired.
Warned you, Dad.
What the heck?
Oh, that was Rose.
Good job.
You're my last hope. If you can't find Donna, you can't find the doctor. Where is he?
You know what? I don't know why I just realized that this is the second time Bernard Crimmins has dealt with the Daleks. Because he was in that movie. Yeah. This is much better than that movie was.
Who is that?
Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister.
Yeah, I know who you are.
Harriet! It's me! It's me! Gosh, you can't hear me. Have you got a webcam?
No, she wouldn't let me. She said they're naughty.
The laptop turned itself on?
It did. That was me. Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister.
Yes, I know who you are.
I've been following your work. Nice job with the Celine.
Yeah, well, I've been staying away from you lot. Too many guns.
All the same. Might I say, looking good, ma'am?
Really? Oh, not now, Captain. And Martha Jones, former companion to the Doctor.
Oh, so was I. But how did you find me?
Oh no, now she's jealous.
This latest...
If you're looking for the doctor, didn't he depose you?
He did.
Yeah.
And I've wondered about that for a long time, whether I was wrong. But I stand by my actions to this day because I knew that one day the Earth would be in danger and the Doctor would fail to appear. I told him so myself and he didn't listen.
But I've been trying to find him. The doctor's got my phone on the TARDIS, but I can't get through. Nor me, and I was here first.
That's why we need
Good
the
grief.
subwave.
Sarah Jane was here first of all.
Marvellous woman. I voted for her.
Did not. Now, enough of words. Let's begin.
Grid power activated.
All terminals coordinated.
Where's Tosh and Owen?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
There's the perfect telephone tower.
Come on, Doctor.
Oh. This is why you can't make, long distance phone calls. Things just start exploding.
Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister.
Yes, we know who you are.
Oh, you know nothing of any human. And that will be your downfall.
Exterminate!
She died a hero, which is better than the last time we saw her.
Where the hell have you been? Doctor, it's the Daleks.
Oh, he's a bit nice. I thought he'd be older.
It's the Daleks. They're taking people to their spaceship.
And who's he?
Captain Jack, don't. Just don't.
Doctor is me. Came back. It's like an outer space Facebook.
Nobody said Rose. Rose.
Your voice is different, and yet its arrogance is unchanged.
But he's dead.
Welcome to my new empire, Doctor.
He got better.
In the very first year of the Time War at the gates of Elysium, I saw your command ship flying through the jaws of the Nightmare Child. I tried to save you.
But it took one stronger than you, Dalek Khan himself.
Such a long distance. Ow.
They don't work against Daleks.
Well, I'm going to fight it. Now go in. Now, Tosh. How about you?
So there.
Yes, Mom.
Tasha and Owen died. Oh, okay.
Human transport is
You should have run them over.
I'm sorry! Daleks do not accept apologies. You will be exterminated. Exterminate. Exterminate.
Accelerate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's too late. I'm regenerating.
Well, of course it is.
Oh, next time. Yeah, this is actually big surprise. Season finale. Matt Smith's here. He's here early.
Uh-huh.
He's here early. Yeah, Tenet. That's the end of Tenet. He had to go.
All right,
so.
who's the kid?
Luke Thomas Knight. Have we seen him in something else?
He looks very familiar.
Yeah. Let me see. Thomas Knight. If I could spell correctly. That's a very different Thomas Knight, first of all. There we go. See, on Wikipedia they have Tommy Knight, and then they have a different page for Thomas Knight, in parentheses, murderer. Different guy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
This lit the UK on fire in 2008, by the way. They were going crazy that night. So.
Well, you got the Doctor regenerating. You've got Sarah Jane about to be exterminated. You got Yanto and Gwen about to be exterminated. You got... Well, Martha's safe at the moment.
Yeah.
And then you got Jack and Donna and Rose on the TARDIS witnessing what's going on.
Yeah. It's quite the action-packed season finale.
Oh, yes, it is.
I mean, this is kind of the sort of magnum opus of the Russell T Davies era. Even though we'll have 5 more episodes after this as the special episodes, this is like the big climax of, 4 seasons, everything coming back into play. So, including Davros. Isn't it great to see Davros again?
Now, is that the same actor? Because he would be like 89 years old at this point, wouldn't he?
I don't think it's the same actor, but it's interesting, and it is funny too, because it's like, oh, how can Davros be alive? It's like, well, the last time we saw Davros was in Remembrance of the Daleks, where the Doctor destroyed Skaro completely. But that wasn't it, because obviously there's the Time War, so they bring that in too. So, and it's funny because when I watched this, I think I had watched Genesis of the Daleks by then. We had watched that at that point, and so I was like, oh man, Davros is back. I thought he died at the end of that. And it's like, well, he came back like 3 times after that, but that's beside the point. So.
Alright, so this is the end of the season?
Yeah, the next episode is. Yes.
Oh, I was going to say, how long did people have to wait for the next episode?
A week. So, yeah.
Yeah, because this would be one of those, who shot JR things, if this was the end of the season, and it was months before they got to see what happened.
Yeah, so...
Are we going to watch the next episode now?
I hadn't planned on it.
You know how I hate that.
I know. I thought there was enough to talk about with this episode. Unlike, something like with the Library 2-parter, I thought that worked really well, watching both back-to-back. I thought and some of the comments have also said it might actually be better to keep the season finales as 2 separate videos. So, the funny thing, though, will be if we decide to watch an episode of Torchwood after this. So a major thing that happens at the end of Torchwood Season 2 that you haven't gotten to yet is Tasha and Owen are dead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. It's actually one of the better parts I remember of season 2. But I also remember Owen being a good character, so I don't know. So I have no idea. We'll have to get into that. But I mean, it's there's that, and then there's the. I mean, look, there's a part of me that feels like I dropped the ball on getting us to watch these spin-off shows in time for this, because this is the big ultimate reward for watching those shows. Uh-huh. Your reward for sitting through Torchwood is watching Torchwood on here. So I don't know. I feel like I dropped the ball, but at the same time it's like it doesn't actually factor into the story.
It doesn't really, because we saw Sarah Jane meet this doctor back with the guy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
We've been watching some of Torchwood, so we know what was happening there.
Yeah.
We knew that Martha had already come back and met this particular doctor as well. Re-met him after he came back. So, I mean, yeah, not having the backstory on Sarah Jane really is about the only thing. But having seen her and know that she is, she has her own series and is doing stuff. Now, again, didn't know about her son, didn't know about Mr. Smith or whatever it was.
Yeah, both of those come into play in her actual show. So just to explain it just a little bit, is that she adopts Luke, basically. That's kind of the plot of that first episode. So, and we'll get to that at some point.
At some point.
We still have to sit through the rest of Torchwood season 2. So, and then we will watch Torchwood season 3 on camera, because that's the big one. But hey, if it makes you a bit more excited for that, there will be no Tosh or Owen in Torchwood season 3.
Oh, wow. That's kind of weird, because I kind of like Tosh. Again, the problem with Owen was he was an extremely unlikable character.
Yeah.
He didn't seem to fit in my opinion, with the rest of the people that were working there at Torchwood, because he was just such a greasy character.
Well, yeah.
But Tosh, the loss of Tosh to me seems kind of, now are there replacements for them, or is it just going to be
that's
just going to be the three of them?
It's just going to be Jack, Gwen, and Yanto in season 3.
Well, that's very odd to me too, because Yanto seemed to be the least involved character in Torchwood.
Yeah.
And it would seem to me, if you were going to keep someone, you'd lose Owen and Yanto and keep Tosh, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's the price you have to pay if you don't want Owen around, is you have to also get rid of Tosh, unfortunately. So, but anyway, but more on this episode. It is interesting that it's like, honestly, this almost classifies as a Dr. Light episode, which, we just had that with Turn Left, but if anything, this was probably very easy for them to film. They show up when, at the Shadow Proclamation set, but other than that, they were in the TARDIS most of this episode, so this was mostly following the people left on Earth. So, and it is fun seeing all of that come together, although there is a part of me that thinks it's a little weird. This is probably why they had to get rid of Owen. It's weird to have Torchwood a part of this, because Torchwood is mature, and so having that be on the family show while also interacting with Sarah Jane, which is for the younger audience show, it's like it's you're almost mixing tones. Like it all works within the actual episode, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, yes, while Sarah Jane deals with these kind of goofier aliens and stuff like that, Torchwood deals with the sex gas and all that kind of stuff, and Adam and the
kidnapping fairies.
Yeah, the fairies and the whale with perpetual growing meat and stuff. So it's slightly a clash of tones, but it works out in this episode. They all kind of equal out in Doctor Who itself.
Yeah. And
the Daleks, it is one of those things because they build that up so well to the point where it's like, all right, the aliens, they have the message for the human race, and it's like, okay, and as soon as you hear that first exterminate, it is kind of one of those like, oh, but at the same time it's like, oh, not again, they're doing this again. But
all right, one little loose end here. When they got to the Shadow Conspiracy, is that it?
Proclamation.
Okay, Shadow Proclamation brought back the Judoon.
Yeah,
but who are the albino ladies? See, they never really...
No, they don't explain that.
Do they come back again in this next episode?
I don't think they do.
Okay, so perhaps they, other than they're the Galactic or Universal Police.
Yeah, they are the Shadow Proclamation, basically. So, I mean, because the Shadow Proclamation is something we've heard about since the first episode with Eccleston. He talks about this. By the Shadow Proclamation, you can't be doing this, this, and this. So now to actually see it, it's like, well, it's just a very posh name for police, basically. They're the Galactic Police. And then they proceed to do nothing because he doesn't want to take them with. So,
but in the episode that introduced the Judoon, did they say that they were part of the...
I don't know, because I thought they were more just mercenary police.
Yeah.
Like they were just hired by... they were hired by the planet who lost their princess to the salt-sucking vampire lady. Which is how that whole thing... Which, if Martha Jones had a nickel for every time a big explosion happened and suddenly where she was in that building was suddenly in space... She would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice now.
Yeah.
So, technically 3 times because it also happened in the last episode in the alternate timeline. So, but yeah, so it's like they don't explain that really well, like what the Shadow Proclamation really is, except they are just universal police. Yeah. So, and with this... this hostility by the Daleks of stealing 27 planets, it's by all right they must go to war with them. Though there is a part of me that thinks I don't think they could have stood a chance because none of them could figure out the whole the Medusa Cascade is 1 second out of sync with the rest of the universe. The Daleks have that ability and, can hide 27 planets out of sync with the rest of time. Yeah, I don't think the Shadow Proclamation could have defeated the Daleks, so...
But to me it would have been... I don't know. Either you need to explain who the albino ladies are, or make them explain that they are part of something that somewhere in the past, 40 seasons, 25 seasons, whatever it is, that we have heard of them before.
It's... They just kind of are there. They're exposition vehicles to figure out why the planets have gone missing.
And the secondary albino lady who told Donna, I'm sorry for the loss that is to come.
Yeah, I guess they can kind of see the future or something.
They're empaths and can feel that.
Yeah, so...
to me, I almost thought that they were part of that... What was the witches who turned the 8th Doctor into the 9th Doctor?
Oh, yeah, the
Sisterhood of something.
Karn. Yeah. Yeah, it could have been something tied to that. I mean, it's interesting because, when the Doctor shows up, and they basically say it's like, the Time Lords, they're a myth. They're such a higher form of species that... they probably don't even exist, and the Doctor's like, well, I do. Anywho, it's just like it's this weird they hold the Time Lords as this great universal myth, and he just kind of demystifies that. So, which I mean that is I mean that's also just an interesting thing about the Time Lords is which Classic Who did plenty of that, of demystifying the Time Lords, but then obviously getting the whole the time war between the Time Lords and the Daleks and stuff. It's... I don't know if I have a point to what I'm saying. So... but we got everyone back. We got Sarah Jane back. We got Torchwood back. We got Martha back. We got Rose back. So you were right the whole season. Rose is back. So, and I will say it has been fun poorly gaslighting you all season about Rose. So
now, again, this is just going off the thing. Sarah Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was from Earth? Ace. It would have been interesting to bring Ace back.
Yeah. Tegan
and Perry. No, Perry was off on some other planet. Didn't she marry the warlord?
Yes. After dying, she got better and married the warlord. Yeah.
So it seems to me because that just would have been extra throw in for the classic Who fans. If you're going to bring back Sarah Jane, anybody else who would be still alive from that point should also, again, if nothing else, just make a cameo like they did in the Five Doctors.
Yeah. So, technically, well, at least Ian should still be around actually on Earth. So, but yeah, it would be interesting. The only thing I would say is just none of them have their own spin-off show like Sarah Jane does. So, and it's interesting too because it's like it like when they first hear that it's the Daleks, it's interesting watching their reactions to that because we primarily see it through Jack, who knows the Daleks. The first time he died was because of the Daleks at the end of series 1, and then Sarah Jane, who not only has encountered the Daleks, but was there during Genesis of the Daleks and, eventually recognized Davros as well. So, it's a good tie-in back to that. So, but even if you don't know that, I mean, just to see pretty much immediately, it's like, okay, so who's this guy, like, kind of in, like, a Dalek wheelchair or something? He's got this, like, metal hand and stuff, and then you hear it's like, oh, he's the creator. And that does kind of, like, tell you everything you need to know immediately about who Davros is. So, but not only that, Dalek Khan is back. You remember Dalek Khan?
Yes, isn't he the last survivor of the 4?
Yeah, the last survivor of the cult.
The temporal shift.
Yeah, the cult of Skaro. We last saw the Daleks in Manhattan towards the beginning of Series 3, after Dalek Sek became a Dalek-human hybrid, and the other Daleks betrayed him. All that remained was Dalek Khan, emergency temporal shift, threw him to the first year of the Time War, where he saved Davros from what the Doctor claims was the jaws of the Nightmare Child. Whatever that means. I do love, especially back in this era, whenever they would refer to the Time War, they would just say the most ridiculous thing and just be like, I have no idea what that means, but I guess I can't know. I'm just a human. That was a war between Time Lords and Daleks. That's their realm. So, but then after that, Dalek Khan went insane, lost his mind, but now can see the future. It's an interesting thing, because this is going off of the end of Series 2 when we first meet the Cult of Skaro, and that's when we lose Rose and everything. So it's like it's interesting how much is tied back in with this finale.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of the other big person here was Harriet Jones' former Prime Minister. So that it's an interesting thing. It's like it's unfortunate that she gets killed by the Daleks, because it's like, honestly, I guess she was right, and that harkens back all the way to Tennant's first episode, where she uses Torchwood, not Torchwood 3, when Torchwood 1 was still around, but uses Torchwood to destroy the Sycorax. And, it's like, you won't always be there. We need to be able to defend ourselves from threats. And, the Doctor takes down her administration and everything. But then you see this, and it's like, I guess she was right to an extent. Because it's like, eventually, yes, the Doctor does get here, but what happens when the Earth is stolen by the Daleks? How do the humans deal with that? How do the humans survive? Especially when it's the Daleks. In fact, that made it all the more amusing when the Daleks got to Torchwood, because it's like, let's think of all the aliens that have shown up in Torchwood. You know, there was that one alien that seduced Tosh. You remember that episode? Let's see. There was the sex gas alien that we talked about. There's the Weevils. They should unleash a few Weevils on the Daleks, see if that works. You know, it's like we've had that. We've had Adam just recent. That was the most recent episode we watched. The guy that supplanted himself into their memories. And it's like, and all of those aliens that we've seen pale in comparison to the threat that one singular Dalek is. And yet a Dalek is much goofier looking when you sort of take a step back. So, but anyway, it's a good cameo by Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister. You always have to be sure you say that part. And I like that even the Daleks are like, yes, we know who you are. It's like, even the Daleks are well informed. So, and I guess just the only other thing to say is the Doctor's regenerating again. It's, you know, normally I do, every time we do a regeneration episode, in the thumbnail I always put a sort of yellow glow around us. I guess I should do that for this episode, shouldn't I? I didn't even think about that. I probably wouldn't have thought of that, but he is regenerating, so.
By the way, hang on just a second. I don't know how well the microphone might be picking this up. You may be hearing a siren in the background.
I don't think that's...
Anyway, if you can hear it, here's the reason why. That's not police or fire, but because we live literally in the very center of what is known as Tornado Alley here on the southern Great Plains, every Saturday at noon, all of the sirens in our town here are put on basically to remind everybody that they do work, and should we have any kind of severe weather, that's the sound that we would hear.
Yeah.
Now, we are now into July. The heaviest part of our tornado season is in late April and then all through May and June. But even though these have been going off probably since the 1950s, in the last 10 years here in Oklahoma, we have had tornadoes straight through to the end of October and the first week of November. So our tornado season, although they haven't been quite as bad, not as strong as previous tornadoes, about 4 years ago, we had like 25 tornadoes in October, which seems highly unlikely since it's usually getting cold in Oklahoma. But just wanted to say, if you happen to hear that, it's just our warning that just in case we hear that, take cover.
It should be getting cold in October.
Should be, but it isn't.
Yeah. And it's funny because some of you follow me on Twitter for whatever reason, and there have been the occasional times where, like, I think the last one, it was early morning that there was a tornado that was actually close to here, and you guys had to wake me up early. I wasn't even awake yet, and it sucked for multiple reasons. But I did put out a tweet that was like, hey, just so you guys know, if Doctor Who's not posted today, then I probably died in a tornado. I'll update you guys later. And then after that passed, I was like, oh, I should really go to Twitter and be like, yeah, we're fine, And, sometimes people, you guys are just like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrifying. I'm like, I mean, yeah, it wasn't great, but I mean, this is a normal Monday, honestly. So
now, that's also unusual because we rarely ever get tornadoes that early in the morning because the conditions usually don't coalesce until afternoon and early evening. That's the prime tornado time here in the Southern Plains. So yeah, having to get up early in the morning for one, that's highly unusual.
Yeah, granted, I mean, you'd wake up at 2 a.m. if you could, honestly. But at 6 o'clock in the morning, no, I'll sleep for like 6 more hours. So those are exaggerations, by the way. I had a friend in high school who he was from California, and he moved to Oklahoma, and he told me once that the first Saturday that he was here, he was like out walking or something in his neighborhood, and the sirens go off, and it was a cloudy day, and he didn't know about those sirens. So he freaked out and beelined it back to his house. And there were other people walking like, what's wrong with him? And he was just beelining. He was scared. Because it was also just a cloudy day. If it had been a completely clear day, he probably would have just been confused. But it's not something they tell you. It's just something you figure out. So
and one last little historical note here. The last major tornado that touched down within the city limits of where we live was in 1986, just before we moved into our old house, not this house. But that tornado touched down less than 1.5 miles from where we are sitting here. Fortunately, when it got to about 1/2 mile away, it rose back up into the sky and never sat down again, but it destroyed or damaged about 150 homes on the southwest side of our little hometown here. No one killed, very few injuries because, again, we have such a great early warning system. But yeah, this, again, that's 40 years ago, and there was close to, if I recall, about $1 billion in American money worth of damage.
Oh yeah, so there's something, pretty much anywhere you go in the United States, there'll be some period of time during the year where something really bad is going to happen. Either tornado season where we are, you've got hurricane season in the southeast, you've got, just general earthquakes in the west, and that's not even seasonal, that just can happen. And then the snow in the northeast, which I hear is pretty bad. Meanwhile, in the UK, it's just rain.
Mostly rain.
Yeah. It's honestly, we would be envious of that. Now, granted, I would say, I guess the thing for the UK is when they get the heat waves. Then we get heat waves too.
Yeah.
And technically, I don't want to spark a debate. I don't want to put down your heat waves and stuff. I don't want to be one of those guys. Trust me. But it's because technically, I watched a little skit that was poking fun at this. It's yes, the temperatures are much worse and much higher in the US, but the UK just doesn't have the infrastructure for any sort of higher temperature. So it's this weird give and take for both countries. So
but what most people in the United States don't realize is that London, in England, is on the same latitude north as Toronto. So, completely north of anything in the United States other than perhaps, Maine and Vermont and New Hampshire. And where I lived was about 75 miles north of that. So again, when we had our big heat wave, I guess it would have been in it was summer of 65, when the temperature got up into the low 80s there in Mildenhall.
Yeah.
It was just insufferable because, again, nobody has, or very few people had central air conditioning.
Yeah.
If you had anything at all, it was a window air cooler. So you just open the windows and sweat it out, drink a lot of fluids, and try to stay cool.
Yeah. So, I remember I was watching a travel series about Japan. It was by James May, who was in Top Gear and the Grand Tour, and he was in the top of Japan in Hokkaido, and it was just constant snow everywhere. And while I think he was doing sledding, dog sledding in the snow and stuff, and he was I keep telling myself that the north of Japan is in the same latitude as the south of France. Yeah, right. And it's just it is technically, but the south of France is way lovelier than Hokkaido, which gets all that cold Siberian wind, and then mix that in with the Sea of Japan. It just hits it with so much snow. So, that's a little funny that it's pretty much all of the UK. It's they're so much further north than most of the US. So it's just something you don't think about. I remember there was some short or something where it was you don't. A lot of people in North America don't realize just how far east South America actually is. That it's just it actually juts over into those time zones way more than you realize.
If you go directly south of New York, by the time you reach South America, you're in eastern Bolivia or eastern Peru, because Brazil juts so far out.
Yeah.
And by the way, being history majors, the two of us, one of the reasons about almost 15 years ago now, that the United States added a second year of geography to our standards here in the United States, is because in the late 80s or in the 90s, sometimes somebody important in the United States government did a survey of high school students, and it was literally like at least a third of them could not identify the United States of America, the place where they lived, on a map of the globe. They could not find their own homeland on a globe. So, yes, it's an indictment of the American political system as well as the educational system that we are geographically illiterate.
I remember I saw a tweet from, I think, someone in the UK, and they basically had a map of the U.S. and they tried to write in as many states as they could remember.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I think on Oklahoma, they wrote, I swear they wrote Oklahoma instead, but they wrote it on the actual state. And so I replied to them, and I was like, you know what, the fact that you actually got it, one letter off, but you actually got that for Oklahoma, I'm very proud. Because I don't think some people in the United States could do that. I remember we went to Portland last year, and we were getting some snacks at the front desk at the hotel, and they asked where we're from, and I said Oklahoma, and they were like, okay, I should know where that is. And I was like, that's okay. We're just north of Texas. And they were like, oh, okay, I get that. And I was like, that's. Everyone knows where Texas is, but...
One last little anecdote. In my Oklahoma history classes, we talked about how what is now Oklahoma was part of the Louisiana Purchase. And one of my assignments to the students was to identify the 15 states that were once all or part of these states inside the Louisiana Purchase, and the students could not identify them. All right. And I told them it's very easy. You can figure it out just by going, straight up the map and then straight down the map and back up again. You can get all 50, but they did not know. For example, they had no idea where the state of Arkansas was or Missouri. Couldn't figure out North and South Dakota. Couldn't figure out Wyoming, Montana, Colorado. So it's appalling.
Yeah. So now they have the extra the extra geography course, which means they're losing the extra history course, which means they're forgetting history, which means the country's falling apart now.
That's part of the political climate here. We want an uneducated population.
Yeah. Anywho, the Doctor is regenerating.
The Doctor's regenerating, yes.
Yeah,
why? Interesting.
And
it's not in Oklahoma.
Yeah. But we should... there's nothing else to say. I feel like we did actually succinctly cover this episode.
Yeah.
In a way that we don't need to watch the next episode today. So, okay, we'll think about it for the next time, okay? Because there is the last 2 specials after this season is a part 1. It even says part 1, part 2. We could do both of those back to back. So, but we'll try it out and we'll see. Like we'll see the comments if this was I thought this was enough to talk about, that we could split it apart like we normally do. So,
okay.
Look on the bright side. Now we get to watch an episode of Torchwood.
Oh boy. Somewhat of a letdown after this, but yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh well. So, with all of that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of our modern Doctor Who reactions, as well as another playlist with every Doctor Who video that's on the channel. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.